ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome back to Wisdom of Srimad Bhagavatam. We have covered chapter 10, which was entitled Departure of Lord Krishna for Dvārakā in the last session. And today we are going to start on chapter 11. But just a quick summary of what we covered in the last session. So at the beginning of chapter 10, Shaunaka Rishi wanted to know that how did Yudhishthir Maharaj rule the kingdom after the war was finished. So Suta Goswami started explaining that Krishna was very pleased by establishing Maharaj Yudhishthir as the king of the entire world. Yudhishthir Maharaj, Suta Goswami continued that Yudhishthir Maharaj had a very wonderful and prosperous kingdom. Now in his kingdom, the rain was adequate. It was not less, not more. Earth produced the required food and minerals in profuse quantity. The cows were happy and they were giving enough milk for everyone. The rivers, oceans, hills, forest, everyone was giving enough tax. That means they are giving enough of what they had to the citizens and to the king. And Maharaja's Yudhishthira's subjects were very happy. They had no mental agonies, no disease, and there were no excessive heat or cold. So overall, we can see that his kingdom was very, very prosperous and amazing. So after establishing Yudhishthir Maharaj as a king, then finally after staying for a few months, Lord Shri Krishna decided to now return to Dwarka. So Yudhishthir Maharaj finally gave him the permission, and then he started leaving from Hastinapur. So all the Pandavas and others, they almost fainted just by hearing and understanding that now Lord Shri Krishna is leaving from here. Their hearts were melting. The women in the palace, they tried to stop their tears. The tears were flowing incessantly from their eyes. But when they came in front of the Lord to bid him farewell, at that time they somehow or the other stopped their tears because they thought it will bring inauspiciousness when Krishna is leaving. So then finally, Lord Shri Krishna sat on the chariot. Arjuna held the umbrella, the white, beautiful umbrella, and Satyaki and Uddhava, they were fanning him with chamar. He was honored, Lord Shri Krishna was honored by sounding various musical instruments, and Brahmanas were chanting Vedic hymns, giving him blessings. The women in Hastinapur, they went onto the rooftop of their palaces to take darshan of the Lord, and they glorified him with various different beautiful verses. And this talk of these ladies of Hastinapur, Lord found that talk even more pleasing than the Vedic hymns. They mentioned, the ladies were mentioning that the Lord is the original Purusha. He is the creator, he is the maintainer, he is the annihilator, and he takes various different forms according to the time and the need that is there. Then they glorified Dvārakā, that the Dvārakā, where the Lord is staying, is even better than the heavenly planets. They glorified the citizens as well as the queens of Lord Shri Krishna. So they thought that the wives of Krishna and gopis of Vrindavan are very fortunate. After uh, they have spoken all of these verses, then Lord looked at them and smiled, and then he departed. So Yudhishthir Maharaj arranged defense for this convoy because he was worried for Lord Shri Krishna. Pandavas actually accompanied Lord Shri Krishna's chariot for a long distance, but finally Lord Shri Krishna sent them back. And then Lord's chariot then continued from through various different provinces, and everywhere he went, he was welcomed, he was given some gifts, he was worshipped, and then at night, the Lord stayed in different places. And finally, after this travel, he reached Dvārakā. So that is where we had stopped in chapter 10. Now, let's come to this chapter 11, Lord Krishna's entrance into Dvārakā. So he had reached Dvārakā and now he is about to enter Dvārakā. So this is where this chapter starts. It's a long chapter, around 39. There are 39 verses in this. So we will try to cover it in this one session. So let us see how it goes. This chapter, we will see that Lord Shri Krishna in the beginning, he he blows this conch shell and indicating that he has arrived. And then Dwarkavasis come running to see him. Then it is explained in this chapter how the city of Dwarka was decorated to welcome the Lord. And then how different people welcome the Supreme Lord and how Lord reciprocates with them. Then Lord enters the city and there Krishna's beauty is explained, described. And then Lord's dealings with his mothers and then with his wives, his queens, has been explained. And then in the end, the transcendental character of the Lord is explained in this chapter. How Lord is unagitated, his senses are unagitated, how he is unattached and unaffected by matter, and how he is like even the queens are not able to understand him. All of that we will be seeing in this chapter today. Okay, let us begin. First verse. Lord Shri Krishna's entrance into Dwarka. Text 1. Suta uvacha anartanasa upavrajya srudhvanjana padan swakan Dadmau daravaram tesham vishadam shamayanniva. Yes, Mantramulam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sutta Goswami said, upon reaching the border of his most prosperous metropolis, known as country of the Anarthas, Dvārakā, the Lord sounded his auspicious conch, heralding his arrival and apparently pacifying the dejection of the inhabitants. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. So when he came at the border, the first thing that he did was he blew his conch shell, Panchajanya. And this was to tell everyone that I have arrived. So he wanted to let the entire Dwarkavasis know that the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna is finally back. Now Dwarkavasis, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, they are not ordinary people. They are eternal associates of the Supreme Lord. They can't actually bear the separation from the Lord. So whenever the Lord appears for performing some pastimes in this material world, they also come. They are thinking, what are we going to do in the spiritual world without you? So we will go and be part of your pastimes. So they can't bear any separation from the Lord. Now they have come from the spiritual world to spend time so that there is no separation from him. But after coming here as well, the Lord went to Hastinapur for few months. So they were feeling so much separation. So they were feeling very dejected that without the Lord, what is there in our life? That is what they were feeling. So to give them and to give them assurance that I have come and to pacify them, the Lord then blew the conch shell. Now it is interesting that Lord blew the conch shell just to tell them that he has arrived. That means they remember, they know the sound of Lord's conch shell. And they know it after hearing it after few months, like the Lord has been there in Hastinapur for few months. So they would have heard this conch shell many, many months ago. But now that the Lord has arrived and he's blowing his conch shell, they did not think that, oh, someone is blowing the conch shell. Maybe they're doing their arti at home or something. No. They immediately understood this is Krishna's conch shell. And their dejection is completely pacified. Let us see what happens further. Sa uchchakashe dhavalodarodaro apyurukramasya dharashona shonima dadmayamana karakanja sampute yathabja khande kalhamsa utsvanaha. Oh, again Mantramulam Prabhu. Okay, let's give chance to Aparna Mataji and then to Sudhanma Prabhu, Sudharma Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. The white and fat-bowled conch shell, being gripped by the hand of Lord Krishna and sounded by him, appeared to be reddened by the touch of his transcendental lips. It seemed that a white swan was playing in the stems of red lotus flowers. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Krishna's conch has a white belly. It is said Dhavala Udara. So the conch also has a belly which is white, it seems. So that means the conch is beautifully white. And it is mentioned that when it touched, the conch shell was touched to the beautiful red lips of the Lord, the conch also appeared to be reddened. So it became pinkish. And it was like a white swan. This is a beautiful analogy which is given here. It seemed that a white swan was playing in the stems of the red lotus flowers. And Srila Prabhupada's purport is very wonderful. Let us read. He has taken this analogy even further. Let us read in the middle. It says, by ardent love. Sudhanma Prabhuji or Sudharma Mataji? I can't see who's there.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, please go ahead.
Prabhuji, I raised my hand for a question. Should I ask?
Yeah, just read the
Okay.
purport first. By ardent love.
Okay. By ardent love and devotional service to the Lord, or in other words, by spiritual contact with the Lord, everything becomes spiritually reddened, like the conch shell in the grip of the Lord, and the Paramahamsa, or the supremely intelligent person, plays the part of a duckling swan in the water of spiritual bliss, eternally decorated by the lotus flower of Lord's feet. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So look at the analogy that Srila Prabhupada, how he has taken it further. He says that the conch shell is like including our material possession. So conch shell is like us, including all of our material possession, everything material that is there, that is like a conch shell. And when we connect with Krishna, then that spiritual contact, everything becomes spiritual. So just like the conch shell, when it came with the red, in the contact with the red lips, it got reddened. So similarly, anything material, our consciousness is material, we are thinking everything material, we have this material body, we have all these material possessions. But when it comes in contact with the Supreme Lord, then everything becomes spiritual. And the Paramhansas, who are supremely intelligent, they are like the swans who are swimming in the water of the spiritual ecstasy. So water is also not ordinary. They are swimming in spiritual ecstasy. And this water is decorated with what? Like why there is that spiritual ecstasy that is there for them? Because there are the lotus flowers. And these lotus flowers are not ordinary flowers. They are Lord's lotus feet. It's an amazing analogy. And you can imagine that definitely that swan is no, like out of all those swans, Srila Prabhupada is also swimming there in that ecstasy. Just by even reading this analogy, we can understand that. Yes, Madhav, you had a question.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, just on the verse 1, why is Dvārakā is called the country of anarthas, where, but we in the purport we are seeing like so all the eternally liberated souls are coming to be with Krishna there, but no, but it's named as like the country of anarthas, which is really ironic.
No, it is not the
No.
anartha which is there in the
Anna.
heart. It is anartha.
Oh,
Anartha and anartha. Tha and anartha is a different. It is just another name of Dwarka, which is anartha.
okay,
Okay,
Prabhuji.
not anarthas which are there
Thank
in
you,
our
thank you,
heart.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, fine. Let us go to verse number 3. Tamupashritya ninadam jagadbhaya bhayavaham pratyudyayu praja sarva bhartur darshana lalasa. Surananda.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Translation. The citizens of Dvārakā, having heard that sound which pretends fear personified in the material world, began to run towards him fast, just to have a long desired audience with the Lord, who is the protector of all devotees.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. So the sound of conch shell, if the Supreme Lord blows this conch shell on the battlefield, then everyone is fearful. Even the fear personified also becomes fearful just by hearing the sound of Lord's conch shell. But when the Dwarkavasis heard this conch shell, instead of running away from that conch shell, they started running towards the Lord as fast as they could, because they are not the enemies of the Lord. The conch shell, which creates fear in the heart of the enemies, it creates hope. It creates attraction for the devotees of the Lord. So these devotees of the Lord, they had been separated from the Lord for a long time. And who is the protector of all the devotees? And they had the strong desire to meet him again. So Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, he's saying that the pure devotees are never disconnected from the Supreme Lord. Even when the Lord is not present, personally present in front of them, they are always absorbed in his thoughts. And because they are absorbed in his thoughts, they are still connected to him. But still, when he came personally in front of them, they were very keen to meet him. So they are already absorbed in Krishna's thoughts, even when Krishna is not present. But still, when the Lord They now understand that the Lord has appeared, Lord has come there, so they want to personally meet him. Srila Prabhupada explains towards the end, he is saying in this last paragraph, this sound of the Lord is identical with the Lord, as we have tried to explain by the non-dual position of the Lord. So the Lord is absolute. So his name, so he continues further and he says that just like this conch shell sound is not different from the Lord, and just by hearing the sound, the Dvārakavasis understood that Lord is now present there. Similarly, the name of the Lord is also same as the Supreme Lord. And the sound vibration of his name is also non-different from him. So how can we remain in contact with the Supreme Lord? So he says that just by chanting the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just by chanting this, the holy name, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, with this sound vibration, because they are not different from the Supreme Lord, we can remain connected to the Supreme Lord. And that is why the connection is the yoga. So this is the Bhakti Yoga process, chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So quickly we can understand from this purport of Srila Prabhupada and also these first 3 verses that how can we connect with Krishna through sound. So we can remain in contact with Lord Shri Krishna through the sound vibration of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is not different from him. And just like Dvārakavasis were absorbed in his thoughts every moment, every day, so we should also chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day. And that is how we can keep connected. We can re-establish our lost connection with the Supreme Lord. Okay. Let us move on. Verse number 4 and 5. Tatropanitabalayo रवेर्दीपमिवाधृतः आत्मा रामं पूर्णकामं निजलाभेन नित्यदा प्रत्युत्फुल्लमुखा प्रोचुर् हर्षर्गद्गद्गदा प्रोचुर् प्रत्युत्फुल्लमुखा प्रोचुर् हर्षगद्गदया गिरा पितरं सर्वसुवृतं वितारम् इवार्भका. Bhageshwari.
The citizens arrived before the Lord with their respective presentations, offering them to the fully satisfied and self-sufficient one who, by his own potency, incessantly supplies others. These presentations were like the offering of a lamp to the sun. Yet the citizens began to speak in ecstatic language to receive the Lord, just as words welcome their guardian and father.
Yeah, so citizens came in front of the Lord along with their gifts. So it is said that the citizens arrived before the Lord with their respective presentations, offering them to the fully satisfied and self-sufficient Lord. So not only they came there running themselves, they brought some gifts for the Lord. Because they were seeing the Lord after a long time, they wanted to give some gifts. So they offered all those gifts to the Lord. The Lord is actually fully satisfied. He is Purna Kamam and he's self-sufficient. He's Atmaram. So he doesn't need those gifts. And he cannot get pleased with anything material. Actually, he is the one, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, he is the one by whose energy he is supplying to everyone. So all the Dvārakavasis, not only them, but everyone in this material world, they are getting, and in the spiritual world as well, they are getting everything because of the Lord's energy only. Lord doesn't need anything from anyone, but he still accepts the small offerings done in love and devotion. Why? Because he's the well-wisher of all of us. So as a well-wisher, he accepts those gifts only if we have given it with love and devotion. Because, like, what is the connection of accepting the gifts and he is the well-wisher? Because he is engaging us in his service. He knows that by we engaging in his service, we get purified. So that is his well-wishing for us. And Srila Prabhupada, and also in the purport, in the translation, it is mentioned that these offerings were like a lamp to the sun. So sometimes when the sun god is worshipped, people actually offer lamb to the sun god. But actually, all the fire and all the illumination that is there in this world, that comes from sun god. So the lamp is his energy, but it is still offered to him. Similarly, everything comes from the Lord. But if we offer it with love and devotion, he has given us something. And from that, we are offering back to him with love and devotion. He accepts it. Just like this example Srila Prabhupada gives many times, that he says that the child buys something for the father from the money that he has received from the father. So the father has given the money. From that money itself, the child goes and buys something and offers that gift to the father, and father still loves it. Why? Because he sees the love and the love that the child has for the father through that gift. Father is very pleased. So the citizens came running, offered the gifts, and they began to speak in ecstatic language to receive the Lord. Just like it is mentioned again, another analogy, just like the wards welcome their guardian and father. Like a small child is welcoming their guardian or father, in that ecstasy, like in that enthusiasm, they started speaking now to the Lord. Verse number 6. Nata smate nath sadangri pankajam virincha vairincha surendra vanditam parayanam kshemam ihechatam param nayatra kala prabhavet para prabhu. Yes, Adi Devi Mataji.
The citizens said, O Lord, you are worshipped by all demigods like Brahma, the four sanas, and even the King of Heaven. You are the ultimate rest for those who are really aspiring to achieve the highest benefit of life. You are the supreme transcendental Lord, and inevitable time cannot exert its influence upon you.
So the Supreme Lord is incomparably supreme. He is the Supreme Lord. So he is incomparably supreme. So they are saying we are offering our dandavats at your lotus feet, which are worshipped by Brahma. Lord Brahma is also worshipping those lotus feet. The Kumaras are worshipping. Indra is also worshipping. You are the supreme shelter for those who aspire the highest benefit. So those who are wanting to get the highest benefit, which is love of Godhead. So for them also, you are the ultimate resting place or the shelter. And you are never influenced by the inevitable time, because the time deteriorates everything. But the Supreme Lord is not affected, because the Lord himself is the time. Time is just one of his energies. 7th verse. Bhavaya nasvam bhava vishwa bhavana tvameva mathat suvrutpati pita tvam sadgururna paramam cha daivatam yasyanu krutino babhumiva. Who's reading next? Yes, Surananda Prabhu.
Translation. O Creator of the universe, you are our Mother, Well-wisher, Lord, Father, Spiritual Master, and worshipable deity. By following in your footsteps, we have become successful in every respect. We pray, therefore, that you continue to bless us with your mercy. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, amazing. So, for these devotees, the Lord is everything. The Lord is the mother, He is the well-wisher, He is the father, He is the Lord, He is the guru, He is the worshipable deity. And they are saying, by following your footsteps, we have become successful. So please continue to bless us with your mercy. The Lord is so, like it is, the Dvārakāvasis are explaining how the Lord is center of their life. That they can't see anything beyond Lord. Their mother, father, well-wisher, guru, worshipable deity, everything is the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. The purport is amazing. It's a short one. So let us read that purport as well. Who's reading? Sudharma Prabhuji or Sudharma Mataji? One of you can read the purport.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. The all-good personality of God, being the creator of the universe, also plans for the good of all good living beings. The good living beings are advised by the Lord to follow His good advice, and by doing so, they become successful in all spheres of life. There is no need to worship any deity but the Lord. The Lord is all-powerful, and if He is satisfied by our obedience unto His lotus feet, obedience unto His lotus feet, He is competent to bestow upon us all kinds of blessings for the successful execution of both our material and spiritual lives. For attaining spiritual existence, the human form is a chance for all to understand our eternal relation with God. Our relation with Him is eternal. It can neither be broken nor vanquished. It may be forgotten for the time being, but it can be revived also by the grace of the Lord if we follow His injunctions, which are revealed in the scriptures of all times and all places. Hare Krishna.
Very, very beautiful purport. Srila Prabhupada is saying that the Lord is asking us to follow His good advice. So the Lord is giving good advice. And He also requests us, Arey Baba, I'm giving you good advice. Please follow this good advice. And if we do that, then our life will become successful. And towards the end, Srila Prabhupada is saying that our relationship with Him is eternal. And that relationship can never be broken. Never. We may forget Him temporarily, but that relationship can still be revived. But how? By following the injunctions. So by Lord's mercy, we can revive the lost relationship, like the forgotten relationship. And what is His mercy? His mercy is coming through His instructions, which are given in the scriptures. So this is how we can remain connected to the Supreme Lord. We have to follow the instructions which are given in the scriptures. And that is how we can then reconnect to the Supreme Lord. That is the process of yoga. So our connection with the Lord, we can revive. So our relationship is eternal. It can never be destroyed. We can just temporarily maybe forgotten about that relationship. It can be revived by the grace of the Lord if we follow His instructions. And His instructions are given in the scriptures. So that is why it is important to read and understand the scriptures. And after that, we have to start implementing those instructions in our day-to-day life. And that is how we can reconnect. The process of reconnection is given in the scriptures. Next verse. Aho sanatha bhavatasmayadvayam त्रैविष्टपानामपि दूरदर्शनम् प्रेमस्मितस्निग्धनिरीक्षणाननम् पश्येम रूपं तव सर्वसौभगम्. Vishakha.
Oh, it is our good luck that we have come again today under your protection by your presence. For your lordship rarely visits even the denizens of heaven. Now it is possible for us to look into your smiling face, which is full of affectionate glances. We can now see your transcendental form, full of all auspiciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So the Dvārakā Vasis are now speaking. They are saying it is our good fortune that you have again come in front of us. And that is how, by your presence, you are taking us under your protection again. And he's saying, Aho Sanatha. So we have become Sanath again. We were Anath before, but now that you have come back and you are giving us your protection with your presence, now we have again become Sanath. Now we are again fortunate because we are going to see the darshan of yours, your smiling face filled with affectionate glances, and your transcendental form we will be able to see again. And why we are fortunate? They are saying this is not even visible to the demigods in heavens. And Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, He's saying that even when Brahmaji and other demigods, they want to talk to the Lord, they can't go and just sit in front of him and talk to him. It is not that they can just get darshan at any time. They have to go to the bank of Shvetadvipa, where Shirodaksha Vishnu is resting. And they cannot even enter the planet. They have to be there at the bank and meditate. And through the meditation, Brahmaji passes on the prayer to the Supreme Lord. And the Lord again transmits the signal. And then Brahmaji receives it and he tells to the Devatas that this is what the Lord has said. So unfortunately, they don't get the darshan. But here, the Dvarkavasis, who are the pure devotees of the Lord, they are getting the darshan of the Lord. And not only just once, like just a fraction of a second, they are now in constant touch with the Lord. They will keep seeing his smiling face, his transcendental form, his merciful glances. They will keep seeing that now for a long period of time. So they are very happy with that. Text 9. Text 9. Yarhyam bujakshap sasar bho bhavan kurun madhun vath suvruddha didrakshaya tatrabda koti pratima kshano bhaved ravin vinakšnoriva nastva vachyuta. Yeah, Sadashiv Prabhu, Brajesh Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. O lotus-eyed Lord, whenever you go away to Mathura, Vrindavana, or Hastinapura to meet your friends and relatives, every moment of your absence seems like a million years. O infallible one, at that time our eyes become useless as if bereft of sun. Hare Krishna.
So, the Dwarkavasis are saying that we feel unbearable separation whenever you go to Hastinapur or Mathura Vrindavan. So when the Lord left from Vrindavan, he told them that I will come back. So he has visited Vrindavan after that as well. So it is Dwarkavasis are referring to that. When you went to Vrindavan last time, and now when you went to Hastinapur, when you go for a long time. And then that creates an unbearable separation in our heart. Every moment of yours, like the separation from you, is like millions of years. Every moment of your absence seems like a million years. So imagine then 1 second, 1 moment is million years, and the Lord goes for few months. So how much separation they will be feeling there. And they are giving an analogy. They are saying, oh infallible one, at that time our eyes become useless as if bereft of sun. So our eyes are useful only when some light is there. So if the sun is not present, then the eyes are useless. Like if everything is dark, you will not be able to see this video, isn't it? And I will not be able to see anyone or anything around us. If everything is dark and we are just looking and we are trying to feel the things with our touch. And the touch is not as good as the seeing. So just like without the sun, eyes are useless, they are saying that without you, our life is useless. So the Lord is everything for Dwarkavasis. Their life has meaning when the Lord is there. If the Lord is not there, their life is meaningless. Lord is that light for them which makes everything meaningful. When He is not present, then there is only the darkness of Maya. In the darkness of Maya, we cannot even, this is Srila Prabhupada saying in the purport, in the darkness of Maya, we can't even recognize ourselves. We think that we are this body when we are spirit souls. We can't even recognize it. So that is why we have to be always connected to the Supreme Lord. And previously, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that it can be done by reading the scriptures, understanding it, and following those instructions given in the scriptures. And that is how we can reconnect our lost relationship. Verse number 10. Katham vayam nath chiroshite tvai prasanna društva khilatapašošanam जीवेमते सुन्दरहासशोभितम् अपश्यमानावदनं मनोहरम् इति चोदिरिता वाचा प्रजानां भक्तवत्सल शृण्वानो अनुग्रहं दृष्ट्वा वितन्वन् प्राविशत्पुरम्. Looks like two verses are combined into one. Different tunes as well. Yes, Aparna Mataji.
Oh, Master, if you live abroad all the time, then we cannot look at your attractive face, whose smiles vanquish all our sufferings. How can we exist without your presence? Upon hearing their speeches, the Lord, who is very kind to the citizens and the devotees, entered the city of Dvārakā and acknowledged all their greetings by casting his transcendental glance over them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Look at this transcendental glance of the Lord. It comes again and again in the scriptures. And it is so enough. Like they have offered so much prayer. Like Kunti Maharani offers 20-25 verses of the prayers. And what the Lord does, he just looks at her and smiles. Then the ladies of Hastinapur, they were offering various different prayers, glorification, and the Lord just looked at them and smiled. Now here as well, these Dwarkavasis have come to receive him at the border, and they offered this glorification. And what did Lord do? He looked at them and smiled. So this Lord and his glance are non-different. And all the potency of the Lord, all the mercy of the Lord, all the love of the Lord is also in his glance. And the Dwarkavasis, the Hastinapurvasis, as well as Kunti Maharani, when they are receiving this glance, they can feel the love of the Lord. And before that, before the glance, Dwarkavasis mentioned that if you actually keep going abroad like this, then we cannot see your attractive smiling face. By seeing your attractive smiling face, that actually vanquishes all sufferings for us. How can we exist without your presence? So some sweet words Dwarkavasis have offered in the separation that they were feeling from the Lord for so many months. So very wonderfully, we are actually learning step by step how to receive the Lord. They went there, they were absorbed when the Lord was not there. When they went there, they offered some gifts, then they offered some sweet words. And now we will see what further has happened, how they have decorated the city of Dwarka. So let us look at that. Dwarka city is getting described now from 11th verse onwards. Let us read the translations only for the next 4-5 verses. Yeah.
As
11.
sorry, Prabhuji.
Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
As Bhogavati, the capital of Nagaloka, is protected by the Nagas, so was Dwaraka protected by the descendants of Vrishni, Bhoja, Madhu, Darsharha, Arha, Kukura, Andaka, etc., who were as strong as Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So Nagaloka's capital is below, like Nagaloka is below earthly planet. And that Nagaloka is also very opulent. It is like heavenly planet. It doesn't have any sun. The sun rays doesn't reach it. But still it is illuminated. Why? Because there are lots of jewels which are on the head of the Nagas. And because of those jewels, it becomes very, very opulent and illuminated. And that Nagaloka's capital is Bhogavati. And Bhogavati is very, very well protected by Nagas. So similarly, it is said that the Dwarka is also protected by Vrishnis. And so many different, like various different descendants of Vrishnis are mentioned. Bhoja, Madhu, Dasarha, Arha, Kukura, Andaka. And it is said that they were as strong as the Supreme Lord, Krishna. Obviously, the Supreme Lord is the supremely powerful, and no one can be equal or better than him. But whatever prowess he has displayed, these other warriors were also having similar prowess. So they were quite powerful. These Vrishni warriors were quite powerful. That is what is mentioned. Next verse, 12th.
The city of Dvārakapuri was filled with opulences of all seasons. There were hermitages, orchards, flower gardens, parks, and reservoirs of water, breeding lotus flowers all over.
So Dwarka city looks like a well-planned city. It had everything. It has hermitages, orchards, flower gardens, park, reservoirs of water. And not only that, these water reservoirs they had lotus flowers all over, everywhere. Let us read the second paragraph. Very nice paragraph. We find herein. Vishaka Mataji, you are next, right? Yeah.
We find herein the mention of pious trees which produce seasonal flowers and fruits. The impious trees are useless jungles only, and they can only be used to supply fuels. In the modern civilization, such impious trees are planted on the sides of roads. Human energy should be properly utilized in developing the finer senses for spiritual understanding, in which lies the solution of life. Fruits, flowers, beautiful gardens, parks, and reservoirs of water, with ducks and swans playing in the midst of lotus flowers, and cows giving sufficient milk and butter are essential for developing the finer tissues of the human body. As against this, the dungeons of mines, factories, and workshops develop demoniac propensities in the working class. The vested interests flourish at the cost of the working class, and consequently, there are severe clashes between them in so many ways. The description of Dwarkadham is the ideal of human civilization. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So beautifully it is explained how in the past this Dwarka city's glorification is there, but through that we can understand how in the past there used to be pious trees around everywhere. Like it was not that uh, some useless trees it is mentioned, which are only useful for as a firewood. Those were planted. Like in this current day and age, if you see next to the road, then there are all these useless trees which are there. But in the past, there were fruit and flower trees. Wherever they went, there were beautiful flowers. No one was hungry. Even those people who are just visiting the city, they can get enough food even at the side of the road. They will get lots of fruits. The fruits are free because they are just on the side of the trees are on the side of the road, which are planted by the government, and then you can just have as many fruits as you want. So they were actually fulfilling the needs of the people. So they are called pious trees. And also there is this contrast between Dwarka and the current civilization is also mentioned. So Dwarka is naturally beautiful. So all like in the description, there are no factories or slaughterhouses or nothing like that has been mentioned. But in the modern civilization, we have these dungeons of mines, factories, and workshops, and they develop demoniac propensities. They are not creating mode of goodness, but passion and ignorance in all the citizens. So this contrasting description that we can see of Dwarka as well as the current day and age. Okay, let's go to the next verse, 13.
The city gateway, the household doors, and festooned arches along the roads were all nicely decorated with festive signs like plantain trees and mango leaves, all to welcome the Lord. Flags, garlands, and painted signs and slogans all combined to shade the sunshine. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now the decoration is mentioned, how it is beautifully decorated. All the gates, the city gate, the doors of the house, and in between some arches were made on the street, and they were all decorated with festive signs. So the banana trunk with the banana leaves, then mango leaves, there were flags. And Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that the flags were all painted with the pictures of either Garuda or Hanuman. So there were all these flags. Then there were garlands everywhere. There were painted signs and slogans as well. So just like some nowadays, when some politician is coming to a city, at least in India, there are these big, big banners which are printed. But when Krishna is coming, they have hand painted some signs and some slogans, and they are also planted around next to the streets. And all of that combined, all of these combined, they were creating some shade for the Supreme Lord when he is walking on the street. So the sunshine, of course, he has this white umbrella anyway, but still, all of these wonderful things are also creating the shade from sunshine for sunshine for him. And you can see that this all these decorations, there were no plastic flowers mentioned, nothing like no balloons, nothing unnatural mentioned there. Everything is natural. So this is explaining to us how we can do the decorations for the Supreme Lord with the natural items. Whatever is naturally, some fruits, flowers, whatever that is possible, then we should use them for decorating around the Supreme Lord. Next verse, 14.
Brijesh, can you read this time, Prabhuji? Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Continue.
The highways, subways, lanes, markets, and public meeting places were all thoroughly cleansed and then moistened with scented water. And to welcome the Lord, fruits, flowers, and unbroken seeds were strewn everywhere. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So all the places were cleaned. The streets, the doors, everything was super cleaned. Highways, subways, lanes, markets, public meeting places, they were thoroughly cleansed. And not only they were cleansed, they were moistened with scented water. Now we purchase like small scent bottles for many dollars. But here, the scented water was put onto the streets. You can imagine the opulence of Dvārakā. So the scented water was put onto the street so that when the Lord is walking over it, he can smell roses, he can smell kevada. Srila Prabhupada says that scented waters prepared by distilling flowers like rose and kevada were requisitioned to wet the roads, streets, and lanes of Dvārakā Dham. So specifically, rose and kevada is mentioned. Very, very fragrant flowers. So this scented waters was done. And to welcome the Lord, there were fruits, flowers, unbroken seeds were strewn. They were thrown onto the street everywhere. Srila Prabhupada is explained in the last line of the purport why that is done. He's saying unbroken seeds of grains or fruits in the seedling stage were considered auspicious. And they are still so used by Hindus in general on festival days. So that is where, because it brings auspiciousness or they are considered auspicious, that is why all these unbroken seeds, fruits, and flowers were put onto the street. Verse number 15. Next one. Mahendra
Krishna
Prabhu.
Prabhuji. In each and every door of the residential houses, auspicious things like curd, unbroken fruits, sugarcane, and full water pots with articles for worship, like incense and candles, were all displayed. Hare Krishna.
So in every house, so the streets were explained. First, the arches and all that was explained. Then the streets were clean and scented water was there. Then the fruits and whatever they are on the streets. Now, what is happening in the houses? In every house, auspicious things like yogurt, unbroken fruit, sugar cane, full water pots, lamps, incense, they were displayed. Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport, he says that the welcoming of the Lord is not a dry event where just the roads are decorated. He says every home the Lord was worshipped with incense, flowers, fruits, garlands, lamps, sweets, various different eatables, and everyone, as per their own capacity, was making offerings to the Lord. And when the worship is done, all the remnants then were distributed to the gathered citizens. The last line of the purport, he says, without distribution of food, no function is complete. And that is the way of Vedic culture. So no worship, no function is complete without distributing food. Prasadam is must after the program. Even something simple can be given, but some prasadam has to be given. So that is how the way of Vedic way of life goes. Any function is there, then there will be a lot of prasadam that will be distributed towards the end. Okay, let us move ahead. 16 and 17 together. Let's read the translation. Continue. Is that Sannivas Prabhu you are going to do?
Hare
Go ahead.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, and also we can see this one today date as well in when you go to Mayapur, when the Lord is coming, everyone from their home, they make so many things and come and stand in front of the chariot when it's coming. And they will offer they will stand there and they will do the diya and they will distribute the prasadam and everything.
Yes, Prabhu.
We can see in the live what's happening.
Correct.
Hare Krishna. On hearing translation. On hearing that the most dear Krishna was approaching Dvārakā Dham,
Magnanimous.
magnanimous Vasudeva, Akrura, Ugrasena, Balarama, the superhumanly powerful Prabdhamna, Charudeshana, and Samba, the son of Jambavati, are extremely happy, abandoned, resting, sitting, and dining.
Yeah.
Thank you, Guruji.
So in these few verses now, 16 to 23, the reception of the Lord by various different relatives, that is being mentioned. So citizens, relatives, as well as few other people as well. We will see how they are welcoming the Supreme Lord. But in these verses now, we can see his close relatives. So Vasudev, Akrur, Ugrasen, Balram, then his children like Pradyumna, Charudeshna, Samba. When they heard that the Lord is coming and he has arrived, they left everything that they were doing. They abandoned it said. Abandoned. They were some were resting, some were sitting, some were dining, but they just left it. And they said that, okay, Lord is coming, Lord has come, so we will just leave everything and go and see him. So whatever work they were doing, they left it in between and went to receive the Lord. And Srila Prabhupada, there is a long purport for this verse. He gives the description of each and every personality which is mentioned in this translation. So when you get a chance, please read to understand more about all of these devotees who are the close associates of the Supreme Lord. We'll go to the 18th verse. Mantra Mulam.
Krishna Guruji. They hastened toward the Lord on chariots with brahmanas bearing flowers. Before them were elephants, emblems of good fortune. Conch shells and bugles were sounded, and Vedic hymns were chanted. Thus they offered their respects, which were saturated with affection. Thank you, Guruji.
So they were rushing towards the Lord on their chariots. All of these close relatives and close associates of the Lord, they got onto their chariot and they were rushing towards the Lord. And Brahmanas were also sitting on the chariots and they were holding flowers so that when they see the Lord, the Brahmanas can shower him with the flowers. And there were elephants which were put onto the front because the elephants are the sign of auspiciousness. They are emblem of good fortune. And at the same time, there were conch shells, there were bugles, they were sounded. And Vedic mantras were getting chanted. Thus they offered their respects, which were saturated with affection. Next verse, 19.
At the same time, many hundreds of well-known prostitutes began to proceed on various vehicles. They were all very eager to meet the Lord, and their beautiful faces were decorated with dazzling earrings, which enhanced the beauty of their foreheads. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So many hundreds of prostitutes eager to meet the Lord, and they were wearing these dazzling earrings. They began to proceed on various different vehicles. Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport that even the prostitutes in Dvāraka, they were devotees of the Lord. And if they are devotees of the Lord, then we cannot hate them just because they are prostitutes. And their example is showing that even the low birth or low profession is not a disqualification on the path of bhakti. That cannot be a disqualification. They can still become a devotee of the Supreme Lord, and the Lord reciprocates with them as well. We have already seen in the previous chapter, there is no material disqualification that Lord sees. He only sees our love and devotion, the sincere love and devotion. Srila Prabhupada further explains why they were prostitutes in Dvāraka. So he gives example. When the government opens the wine shops, it is not that the government is encouraging people to drink wine. The government knows that there are people who cannot stay without it, and they will go to any extent. They may do some crime, they may do smuggling, and to avoid that, then government provides a facility in which they can be having wine in a regulated way. Similarly, if the men are not satisfied at home, then they will go to the prostitutes. And if the prostitutes do not exist, then those people will contaminate the women in the society. And to avoid that, then there are some prostitutes here. It is mentioned in the Dvāraka city as well. So, but they were devotees of the Lord. And those devotees of the Lord, they were also very eager to meet the Lord. Of course, Srila Prabhupada says that all of this needs to be reformed. But the real reformation is to make everyone the devotee of the Lord. When they are devotees of the Lord, then no wine or no prostitutes will be required. That is actually showing that, of course, in Dvāraka city, there were still some who were materially attached. They were not fully devotees of the Lord. They were not all pure devotees in Dvāraka city. There were some who were still materially attached, and for them, then these prostitutes were there. Verse number 20.
Expert dramatists, artists, dancers, singers, historians, genealogists, and learned speakers all gave their respective contributions, being inspired by the superhuman pastimes of the Lord. Thus they proceeded on and on. Hare Krishna.
So it is quite interesting that the Lord is moving along the street. So he has from the border. Earlier it was explained that he was at the border. Now it is explained and then he entered the Dvāraka city, and now he is walking along the street. Interestingly, every few steps, some performances are happening. Some expert dancer is dancing, depicting some Lord's pastime. Then the Lord stands there, he enjoys the performance. Then he goes further and he sees that there is some drama company, like the team of some dramatist. They are performing some drama, showing some other Lord's pastime. Then again, Lord stops. He sees how the drama is going on. He enjoys that. Then he goes further and he sees that there is someone who's singing beautiful song in glorification of the Lord. So he hears that. He goes further. Somewhere some historians or some genealogists, they are actually explaining the genealogy of the Supreme Lord or some devotee of the Lord. And historians are talking about the Vrishnis. And the Lord is enjoying that. So he hears that. He goes further. And then he sees some learned speakers. They are glorifying the superhuman activities. They are talking about the tattva of the Lord, the leela of the Lord. And then Lord also stands there for a while. He hears that. And that is how it is going. You can imagine from the border to his palace, it will be a long journey. Every few steps, he has to stop and he has to reciprocate with these devotees who are wonderfully glorifying and showcasing their talents, but mainly engaging that talent in the service of the Lord. 21st.
Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, approached them and offered due honor and respect to each and every one of the friends, relatives, citizens, and all other who came to receive and welcome him. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So Lord approached them and offered due honor and respect to each and every one of the friends, relatives, citizens, and all others who came to receive and welcome him. So all of these people which are mentioned, like the dramatist, the singers, the dancers, as well as his own relatives who came, then this all the citizens, including the prostitutes, everyone who came, including the chandalas, whoever was there, he approached them and offered due honor and respect. And it is mentioned that he did it yatha vidhi. Srila Prabhupada explains. Here, the word yathavidhi, or just as it behooves, is significant. He reciprocates just as it behooves with his different types of admirers and devotees. And how did he do that? This yathavidhi, that is mentioned in the next verse, 22nd verse. Who's next? Srinivasa Mataji, you want to do again? Okay, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to lower my hand, but I'll read it.
Yeah, it is connected. You can go ahead.
The Almighty Lord greeted everyone present by bowing his head, exchanging greetings and embracing and shaking hands, and looking and smiling, giving assurance and awarding benedictions, even to the lowest in rank.
So this is how he reciprocated with everyone. There were elders of him like Vasudev, who's a father, Ugrasen, who's a grandfather, Gargamuni, who's a teacher or a priest. Then there were his children like Samba, Pradyumna, Charudeshna. Then his brother was also there, Balaram was there. All the citizens were there, prostitutes, singers, dramatists, dancers. He reciprocated with them yathavidhi. To some he bowed his head. So to his elders he bowed his head. Then he exchanged, it is mentioned that he exchanged greetings. So that is with his brother Balaram. He embraced. So embracing is for his children. He shook hands with some citizens that they came to see him. By looking at them and smiling, to all the, of course, it is not possible to shake hands with all the citizens who came. So to all other citizens, including this drama artist and singers, dancers, prostitutes, whoever came, he looked at them and smiled at them. And those who were feeling dejected, he gave him their assurances. Now that I have come, do not worry, I am going to stay here. And then he gave benedictions to some. So those who were waiting for him, so he gave them benedictions to them as well. He reciprocated even with the lowest of the ranks, even with the chandalas, he reciprocated with them. So Lord is unlimited. Like we, because we are limited, we are not even able to please one or two people around us. But the Supreme Lord is unlimited. He is able to reciprocate and please everyone around him. So that is what we are seeing from his interactions with these Dvarkavasis. Let's go to 23rd. Mantramalam.
Then the Lord personally entered the city accompanied by elderly relatives and invalid brahmanas with their wives, all offering benedictions and singing the glories of the Lord. Others also praised the glories of the Lord. Thank you.
So Lord then finally entered the city with everyone who came to receive him. And it mentions some invalid brahmanas. Invalid means they have become old and they are not able to now do everything on them on themselves. So they are also respected and looked after by the kings. So there, the brahmanas, the old brahmanas and their wives were also there, and all of them finally entered the city. what happened next? So, but before we go there, what happened after that? So, all of these verses till now, till 23, from 1 to 23, these verses were explaining how Dwarkavasis welcome the Supreme Lord. And we can learn so many points how we can welcome the Lord into our life, into our home, and also on these big festivals when there are appearance days like Janmashtami, Ram Navami, how should we welcome the Lord? So I want to ask you this question. What can we learn from Dwarkavasis on how to welcome the Lord? What are some of the points that you have noticed that we can definitely take up and learn and implement for welcoming the Lord? So your hands, some of you have your hands up. If they are for these points, then continue. Mahendra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I guess it is based on everyone's capability. Whoever can do whatever in terms of fruits, flowers, or in terms of any kind of presents as well, based on the category and as per well, there are no expectations, but as per the capacity, it was done, and it is expected to do that way.
Yeah, this is very important. It is as per the capacity. So Hanuman's capacity is big. He has to give big. The squirrel's capacity is less, but that is the squirrel is also giving his best. Hanuman is also giving his best. So as per our capacity, we have to offer to the Lord. Very good point. If we can only give fruits and flowers, then we can just give fruits and flowers. If we are able to give some good gifts to the Lord, we can give good gifts to the Lord. Yes. Thank you. Bhageshwari Mataji.
Also, with that capacity, we should always be enthusiastic and joyful in doing that service, whatever, whether it be in our life, in home. It has to be.
Very, very good, Mataji. Very good point. Because the Lord, as we have seen, Lord doesn't need anything from us. He has everything. He is the one who has given everything. If we show sincerity by being enthusiastic, by being eager to offer it, then he will feel the love and devotion that we have, and he will accept it. He will like our eagerness, enthusiasm, happiness when we are giving, and then he will accept that. Aparna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, similar to what Bhageshwari Mataji and Mahendra Prabhuji have mentioned. So what I can add is just with love. So like you explained beautifully that anything or everything which we do for the Lord, if we do it deeply in love for the Lord, that Lord will accept. So
Yeah.
everything. So thank you. That was my answer. Hare Krishna.
Surananda Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, we should keep the environment positively.
A positive environment.
Yeah.
So by how do we keep that positive, Prabhuji? Is there anything specific?
Like what I can correlate is here they decorated the street and they dressed nicely. They got gifts and welcomed with sweet words.
So they cleaned the city. They cleaned the city and also decorated the city beautifully. And what all items did they use for decorating the city? Can we learn something from that as well?
The fruits and grain.
So all the natural items like flowers, fruits, then even if they had something else that was flags, slogans, etc., but they were all focused on the Supreme Lord. And there were no plastic flowers. There were no plastic items for use for decoration. So that is how they were decorating. Yes. Sadashiv Prabhu or Sannivas Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Guruji. I was thinking when everyone was rushing and leaving everything aside, what they were doing, that's something I want to meditate on. So
Yeah, very good point, Prabhuji. So they dropped everything for Krishna. Krishna is their first priority. Everything else comes after Krishna. So whatever they were doing, they abandoned everything and they rushed towards it. So on Janmashtami, we need to take leave. We can't avoid that because that is our first priority. We have to leave everything aside when the Lord is arriving. And we have to focus on the Supreme Lord. What can I do to decorate and to prepare myself prepare the place for his arrival and his devotees' arrivals. So, very good point. Yes.
Prabhuji, one more point.
Yes, Prabhu.
And all family means all family members have to be participate. That's one
Yeah,
point.
they welcomed him together. So they were united in the service of the Lord. So that unity has to be there amongst the devotees. That unity pleases the Supreme Lord very much. Yeah, next one, Vishakha Mataji.
Similarly, Prabhuji, so all the classes of men, even if they don't have any material qualification, without any discrimination, everyone who has love and devotion should be welcome.
Yeah, everyone is there and Lord will reciprocate with them. And no material disqualification is there in Bhakti. Yes. Sudharma Mataji, Sudharma Mataji.
Same Prabhuji. I was about to say, like, Krishna greeted everyone present there, depending on, like, youngsters, how even is old people, elderly people. So we have to be respecting everyone, irrespective of age, because we are all part and parcel of Krishna. So that is what we have to be remembering and give respect to everyone who is there.
Yes, yes, Mataji. Everyone is welcome when we are welcoming the Supreme Lord. Is there any other points which are missed? What about the drama, dance, and songs? Mantramalam Prabhu.
Prasadam distribution, Prabhuji.
Prasadam distribution, yes, Prasadam distribution has to happen nicely. As well as the drama, dance, and songs has to be also there. Dheeraj Prabhuji. Welcome back after a while.
Krishna Prabhuji, sorry to miss a few sessions. Yeah, I was about to say on the same point that whatever qualification or talent someone has got has to offer, has to use it in service of the Supreme Lord.
Absolutely, absolutely. So when Janmashtami or these big festivals are there, we have to have dramas, we have to have dance, we have to have singing. These things are must. All these talents must be used in Krishna's service. Very nice. So thank you very much, everyone. So just to summarize, so the Dwarkavasis cleaned the city and decorated the city. So we need to clean our hearts as well. So first we have to actually invite the Lord and reconnect with the Lord. So we need to actually clean our heart and remove the anarthas which are there. We need to decorate ourselves. How? By Vaishnava behavior. Because Vaishnava behavior is the ornament of a devotee. So that way, so clean the heart, remove the anarthas, and decorate ourselves with Vaishnava behavior. And that is how we can actually welcome the Lord in our heart. And of course, as we talked about, decorate using the natural items like the place where, like the temple or at our home, or when we are celebrating in bigger halls, when these big festivals are happening, then with flowers, fruits, with the natural items. Then, as some of you mentioned, they ran towards the Lord with eagerness. So we need to actually develop this eagerness and enthusiasm in our daily sadhana as well. So we should be very eager that how I can actually do more and more. Our sadhana and service, we should be very eager. When we are chanting, can we think that we are now welcoming the Lord? So every morning when we sit for chanting, we should be thinking that not only I'm chanting, I am actually welcoming the Lord by this sound vibration. Then we saw that they dropped everything, they abandoned everything, because that is how they showed that Krishna is a priority. So chanting or our devotional service can be our priority in our day-to-day life. And on festival days as well, we can take leave to worship and prepare everything for the Lord. Then one of the other points was they welcomed the Lord with heartfelt words. So we can also offer our heartfelt prayer to the Lord to welcome Him. And they, as we discussed just now, they were dramas, dance, and songs. So we can use our all skills, our talent in Lord's service. And they welcomed Him together. They were united, and that unity pleases Krishna. And then whatever they had, whatever they could afford, they offered it to the Lord in His service. So some offered fruits and flowers, some offered some gifts, and That is how the festivals as well can go on if we all come together to do as per our capacity. Okay, let's move ahead. 24 to 27. These verses are now where the Lord is entering the city and passing through various routes. What is happening there? Okay, let's continue to read just the. Okay, at least for the 24, let's read the translation. 25 onwards, we will read the verses again. Mantra Mulam Prabhu.
When Lord Krishna passed over the public roads, all the ladies from the respectable families of Dvārakā went up to the roofs of their palaces just to have a look at the Lord. They considered this to be the greatest festival. Thank you, Prabhu.
So just like the respectable ladies of Hastinapur, we saw that they went to the rooftop of their palaces when the Lord was departing from Hastinapur. Similarly, when the Lord has arrived in Dwarka, all these respectable families, their ladies, they actually went to the rooftop of the palaces. And when Krishna was passing along the public road, they wanted to take the darshan of the Lord. And it is said, Tadikshana Mahotsava in the verse. It is Maha Utsava. It was not an ordinary festival, which is Utsava. It is Mahotsava. Mahan. It is big festival, greatest festival. Just the darshan of the Lord was like a greatest festival for these ladies in Dwarka. Verse number 25. Nityam nirikshamananam yadapi dwarakaukasam na vitrupyanti hidrishaha shriyo dhamangam achyutam. Who's next? Yes, Mahendra Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhuji. The inhabitants of Dwarka were regularly accustomed to look upon the reservoir of all beauty, the infallible Lord, yet they were never satiated. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So the Dwarkavasis used to regularly see the infallible Lord. It is not that they were seeing him for the first time. They were regularly accustomed to look upon the reservoir of all the beauty. So Dwarkavasis, it was not the first time that they were seeing. Regularly they have seen before as well. And he is called, the Supreme Lord is called Achyuta, which is infallible, as well as Shriyo Dhamangam. That means he is the reservoir of all beauty. So because he is the reservoir of all the beauty, that's why they were never satiated. Srila Prabhupada explains that there is this law of satiation in the material world. Even if you like something, say you like, for example, gulab jamun, or you like now summer has started or starting in New Zealand, so somebody may be liking ice cream. But how much ice cream you can eat? One bowl, two bowls, maybe after 10 bowls you'll say, oh, no more. I can have no more. So from bhoga, we go into tyaga. We say that I don't want this ice cream now. I don't even want to see it. Even though it is your favorite food. Why? Because now you're satiated. You're satisfied. You can't, and it goes beyond satisfaction now. You are thinking now, I don't want it. You are into tyaga mode. Similarly, if you want to see something as well, like suppose someone is a movie fan and they are watching a movie. And whatever movie that they like, they have watched it once, twice, 10 times. But after 100 times, they will say, Arey, I know now everything. I have memorized all the dialogues as well. I don't want to see it anymore. So there is this law of satiation. If something material, if you see or eat many times, then after that, after some time, we get satisfied and we don't want it anymore. But this law doesn't work on the spiritual platform. Why? Because Lord is unlimited. He's infallible. So his name, form, beauty, everything is unlimited. So even if we see him many times, there is newer and newer beauty that we can see in him. Isn't it? We are limited. The Lord is unlimited. His Shriyo Dhamangam. So he is unlimited reservoir of beauty. So when we saw first time, we saw a little bit of his beauty. When we see him next time, there is some newer aspects of the beauty we can see in him. So the newer and newer beauty can be revealed when we are taking darshan of the Lord again and again. And that is why we will never feel satisfaction. We want to see him more. We want to see him more. Just like Lord's pastimes as well. We discuss the same pastimes again and again and again and again and again. Every year, Damodar month comes, we talk about it. Then Narsimha Chaturdashi comes, we talk about Lord Narsimha's pastime with Prahlad Maharaj. And all of those pastimes we keep talking about again and again. But even if we hear it so many times, we can actually hear it again because we want to get more and more satisfaction. We want to hear more. We never feel satisfied that it is enough now. No more. Like in my life now, no more Prahlad Maharaj and Narsimha story again. I have heard it 100 times. No, we will again want to hear it. Again want to hear it because there is newer and newer understanding and realizations we can get from it because the leelas of the Lord are also unlimited, just like Lord is unlimited because he is absolute. We read scriptures also many times. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, we read many times. But still we keep learning something new from it because they are also unlimited. So that is how this law of satiation doesn't work on the spiritual platform. We can keep doing the spiritual activities again and again, and we will still get newer and newer rasa in it. And that is what keep us going through it again and again. We can keep taking darshan of the deities 100 times, 1,000 times, million times, billion times, and still we want to take the darshan. We will read scriptures, we will hear pastimes, we will eat prasadam again and again because all are Krishna. Krishna is absolute. So that is how it is a Maha Utsav. That is why in the previous verse it is mentioned, it is a Mahotsav. Just by taking the darshan of the Lord, it is the greatest of festival. 26th. Shriyo nivaso yasyora panapatram mukham drisham bahavo lokapalanam saranganam padambujam.
The Lord's chest is abode of the goddess of fortune. His moon-like face is the drinking vessel for eyes, which hanker after all that is beautiful. His arms are the resting places for the administrative demigods, and his lotus feet are the refuge of pure devotees who never talk or sing of any subject except his lordship. Hare Krishna.
He is the refuge for pure devotees. Refugee means those who take refuge are refugees. There is a double E in that. But in this one, it is a single E, which is refuge. Okay, so the unsatiable beauty, like this unlimited beauty, was mentioned of the Supreme Lord in the previous verse. And that beauty is little bit more described in this verse with these 4 points. 4 aspects of Lord's beauty. First of all, it is said his chest. His chest is the abode of goddess of fortune. And Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that everyone in this material world, different classes of human beings, they are seeking the different enjoyments from different objects, and they are always seeking the favor of goddess of Lakshmi. And they are running behind her. And she is very chanchala, she is very restless. But that goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, she is serving the Lord and taken shelter of him on his chest. So the chest is the abode of Lakshmi. Then his arms, sorry, the next one is face. His face is explained as he's the drinking vessel for eyes. So just when you are thirsty, you drink something, you will feel very satisfied. And if there is a drinking vessel from which there is unlimited water that is there in that, and then we are drinking it, yeah, that is very good. Similarly, for eyes, the face of the Supreme Lord is like the drinking vessel, which is unlimited it has unlimited rasa. So that is what is compared, like the face is compared, the lotus face, with the beautiful smile of the Lord. And the arms are very powerful. Like the devatas are taking, it is the resting place for demigods, devatas. Now the devatas are very powerful. They are looking after the universal management. And for that, they are very strong and powerful. But still, they have some enemies. And when they get frightened from those enemies, when they are challenged by the enemies, they come and take shelter of Lord's arms. Because Lord's arms are so powerful and they are able to protect them. And in the lotus feet, they are refuge of pure devotees who never talk or sing of any subjects except for the lordships. And especially here, they are called as Saranga. Saranga. So Srila Prabhupada explains that the essence of everything is the Supreme Lord. Hence it is called Saram. So the Supreme Lord is Saram. And those who sing and talk about him are called Sarangas, which are the pure devotees of the Lord. So the Lord is Saram, and those who talk and sing about the Lord, they are Sarangas. And these Sarangas are taking, or they are always hankering for the lotus feet of the Lord. And Srila Prabhupada explains there towards actually middle of the purport, he's saying that these lotus feet of the Lord have certain sweet honey. And the pure devotees are like bees. And these bees are always attracted to this honey or the sweet thing, sweet nectar which is there on the lotus feet of the Lord. And that is why they are always attracted to the Supreme Lord and his lotus feet. So the Lord's chest is the abode of Lakshmi. His face is like a drinking vessel for the eyes. His arms are the resting place for the demigods. And his feet are a refuge for the pure devotees. So that is how Lord is so beautiful. Let's go to the next verse. 27. Sita-tapatra vyajanairupaskrita prasuna varshairbhivarshita pathi Pishangavasa vanamalaya babhau ghano yatho yatharkodupachapa vaidyutae. Very beautiful verse. Yes, Brijesh Prabhu, Sadashiv Prabhu, Sannivas Prabhu, whoever.
Okay, go for it, Brijesh.
As the Lord passed along the public road of Dvārakā, his head was protected from the sunshine by a white umbrella. White feathered fans moved in semicircles, and showers of flowers fell upon the road. His yellow garments and garlands of flowers made it appear as if a dark cloud were surrounded simultaneously by sun, moon, lightning, and rainbows.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So the Lord is walking on the street of Dvārakā now. And as you all know, Lord's complexion, as you can see in the photo as well, Lord's complexion is like a dark cloud. So when he is walking on the street of Dvārakā, it appeared like a dark cloud is passing. And his head was protected by this white umbrella. So this white umbrella is held on his head to protect from sunshine. So this umbrella appeared like a sun surrounding the cloud. Then there were some white feathered fans, the chamaras, they were moving in semicircles around him to fan him. And these white chamaras were looking like this moon. So the moon was surrounding the cloud. And then there were flowers which were showered on him and on the road, and they were looking like stars. And the Lord was wearing yellow garments. They are looking like lightning, dazzling lightning. And he was wearing these beautiful garlands of various different colored flowers. So they were looking like rainbow. So it is mentioned that the dark cloud were surrounded simultaneously by sun, moon, lightning, and rainbows. Now in the world, we can't see sun, moon, stars, lightning, rainbow all together. It is not possible to see all of them. But here, Dvarkavasis were able to see it by Lord's potency. This dark cloud surrounded by sun, moon, stars, lightning, rainbow, everything together. So it was very beautiful sight. प्रविष्टस्तु गृहं पित्रो परिष्वक्ता स्वमातृभिः ववन्दे शिरसा सप्त देवकी प्रमुखा मुदा. So now what is happening is Lord is entering different palaces, and that Lord's dealings with his mother and his queens is coming afterwards. Let us read the translation 28. Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
After entering the house of his father, he was embraced by the mothers present, and the Lord offered his obeisances unto them by placing his head at their feet. The mothers were headed by Devaki, his real mother.
So, sorry. Oops, next. Yeah, here. So here in this verse, 28th verse, it is mentioned that the Lord entered the palace of his father, where his mothers, headed by Devaki, they were staying. And when they met Krishna, they embraced him. So Srila Prabhupada explains that Vasudev had 18 wives. So there were 18 mothers. And the main queen was Devaki, and she was also the real mother of Krishna. So Lord offered obeisances to all his mothers by placing his head on their feet. Now only Devaki is his real mother, and all the other 17 are his stepmothers. But Krishna treated the other stepmothers also just like his real mothers. And the stepmothers were also very affectionate to Lord Shri Krishna. And just like Lord Shri Krishna is treating all his mothers equally, so Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport that there are seven mothers we should respect. Who are the seven mothers? First is real mother. Second is the wife of the spiritual master. So she should also be treated as mother. The wife of a Brahmana should be treated as a mother. The wife of a king, which is the queen, she should also be treated as a mother and respected. The cow should be treated as a mother because we drink her milk. She looks after us. So we should not be like the people should not be slaughtering her. She should be protected. The nurse should be given the equal respect as mother, and the mother earth, she should also be respected and looked after. So these seven mothers are mentioned. So from the Lord, we can understand how he is respecting all his mothers nicely. We should also respect all these mothers nicely and equally. Verse number 29. Ta putram Ankam aropya snehasnuta payodhara harsha vivhalitatmana Shishichur netrajair jalai.
The mothers, after embracing their son, sat him on their laps. Due to pure affection, milk sprang from their breasts. They were overwhelmed with delight, and the tears from their eyes wetted the Lord.
So the Lord is grown up already. The Lord is married. He has 16,108 wives. And from each one of them, he has lots of sons. 10 sons from each one of them. So the Lord is so grown up that he is married, he has his own children, but for the mothers, he is still their small child. So after embracing the Lord, they made the Lord sit on their lap. And due to their motherly affection, the milk sprang from their breasts. They were overwhelmed with delight, and tears were flowing, and they were doing abhishek of the Lord from their tears. So we can see not only the Lord was affectionate towards all his 18 mothers, including the stepmothers also treated him as if he was their own son. So this affection of them was mutual. 30th verse. Atha vishat swabhavanam sarvakamam anuttamam प्रासादा यत्र पत्नीनां सहस्राणि च षोडश.
Translation. Thereafter, the Lord entered his palaces, which were perfect to the fullest extent. His wives lived in them. They numbered over 16,000.
So after he has visited his mothers, then he visited his wives. So the Lord entered his own palace. And it was not one palace. He had 16,108 wives. So he entered simultaneously in 16,108 palaces. So he expanded 16,108 times, and each of the palace he entered at the same time. It was not that he entered the first palace, then the next palace, and the 16,108 wife had to wait for 2 years before the Lord came to see her. Because few minutes as well he has to spend. It will take long time for the Lord to go there. But no, the Lord was present with each one of them simultaneously. And he had built wonderful, beautiful palace, similar palaces for all the 16,108 wives. They were each fully equipped with all facilities, including, Srila Prabhupada says, including they were complete with necessary compounds and gardens. And further he explains, which the palace description comes from the 10th canto, and he has, Srila Prabhupada has put in the purport, that there was marble everywhere in the palaces. They were illuminated by jewels. They were decorated with curtains and velvet carpet. There was silk everywhere with golden laces. So the palaces were very, very opulent and beautiful. And each palace was like that. So the Lord entered the 16,108 palace simultaneously. Let us see what happened. Patnya patim prosya gruhanupagatam vilokya sanjata mano mahotsavaha उत्तत्स्थुरारात सहसा सनाशयात् साकं व्रतैर्व्रीडित लोचनाननः.
The queens of Lord Shri Krishna rejoiced within their minds to see their husband home after a long period abroad. The queens got up at once from their seats and meditations. As was socially customary, they covered their faces shyly and looked about coyly.
So Lord has expanded himself 16,108 times, and he has entered each of the palace. And the queens were very, very happy to see the Lord after a long time. And they got up at once to welcome, and they wanted to embrace the Lord. But what they did, because it was socially, it was it was customary like that. So they covered their faces shyly, and in that shyness itself, they were looking at him. Uh, so they were looking at him through the sidelong glances. What happened further? Let's read the translation. 32. Who wants to read?
I can read.
Yeah, go.
The inseparable ecstasy was so strong that the queens who were shy first embraced the Lord in the innermost recesses of their hearts. Then they embraced him visually, and then they sent their sons to embrace him, which is equal to personal embracing. But O chief amongst the Prabhus, though they tried to restrain their feelings, they inadvertently shed tears.
So the queens had a strong desire to embrace the Lord, who they were meeting after a long time. But they were too shy to do that, to embrace him directly. So they first embrace him within their hearts. No one can stop them to embrace the Lord within their heart. Then they looked at him, so visually they embraced him. And then they sent their sons to embrace the Supreme Lord. Because the son is developed from mother's body, she got the same feeling that, okay, my extension only is embracing the Supreme Lord. And through that, she embraced the Supreme Lord. but still they were not satisfied. They were trying to restrain their feeling to embrace the Lord, and they were not feeling that feeling is satisfied completely. And in that that is why they were shedding tears. Verse number 33. यद्यपसौ पार्श्वगतोरहो गतस्तथापि तस्याङ्घ्रियुगं नवं नवम् पदे पदे का विरमेत तत्पदाचलापि यच्छेर्न जहाति कर्हि चेत्.
Although Lord Sri Krishna was constantly by their sides as well as exclusively alone, his feet appeared to them to be newer and newer. The goddess of fortune, although by nature always restless and moving, could not quit the Lord's feet. Quit the Lord's feet. So, what women can be detached from those feet, having once taken shelter of them? Correction.
So queens were there in Lord's exclusive presence, privately. So only Lord and the queens are queen is there in their palace for a long time. So queens were there, so they were getting exclusive association of the Lord. But still, at every moment, they used to find Lord's feet newer and newer for them. Because as we have already discussed that Lord is unlimited. So they are getting the feeling that these Lord feet are newer and newer every time they are seeing him. Lakshmi Devi, who's very restless, Chanchala, she also cannot give up Lord's feet. So which woman can then give them up? That is what the verses glorify. That is how the verses glorify. 34. Evam nrupanam kshitibhara janmanam अक्षौहिणीभिः परिवृत्त तेजसाम् विधाय वैरं श्वसनो यथानलं मिथो वधेनो परतो निरायुधा.
The Lord was pacified after killing those kings who were burdensome to the earth. They were puffed up with their military strength, their horses, elephants, chariots, infantry, etc. He himself was not a party in the fight. He simply created hostility between the powerful administrators and they fought amongst themselves. He was like the wind which causes friction between bamboos and so sparks a fire. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So this analogy we saw in the previous chapter is again coming. So the bamboo fire, how it starts. So when the bamboos become dry, when the wind comes, they collide with each other, and because of that friction which is there, some spark starts, and then that converts into a big fire, and then the entire forest is burnt. So this bamboo fire is explained here that there is no external cause as such. They are just colliding with each other, and because of that friction, they get destroyed. The only thing that is there is the wind, the external cause. So the Lord is like that wind. So how that happened was like it is compared here that the Lord appeared on this earth based on Lord Brahma's request, because Mother Earth went to Brahma, and then Brahma went to the Lord to request for his appearance on the earth, because the earth was burdened by these kings who were impious and sinful. So the Lord appeared to free the earth from this burden. And now, because he has completed that task, he was pacified. Yes, whatever I have promised for when I appeared, I have now completed that. So he was pacified like that. He did not participate personally in the war, but he was like that wind. He just created the hostility, some the friction between these different kings, and then he guided his devotees, and then the miscreants were killed. So that is how he removed the dharmasya glani, which was there. He came for re-establishing the principles of religion and to remove the burden of the miscreants from the earth, and he performed this task. So now he was completely pacified. 35th verse. स एष नरलोकेऽस्मिन् अवतीर्णा स्वमायया रेमे श्रीरत्नकूटस्थो भगवान् प्राकृतो यथा. Yes, Dheeraj Guru.
That Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, appeared on this planet by his internal potency and enjoyed himself amongst competent women as if he were engaging in mundane affairs.
So this same Supreme Personality of Godhead who appeared on the earth to remove the dharmasya glani, to reestablish the principles of religion, and to destroy these miscreants, annihilate the miscreants, that same Supreme Personality appeared by his causeless mercy and enjoyed with these Sri Ratna, this best of the women, his queens, as if it was a mundane affair. The mundane interaction of the husband and wife, which is there in this material world, that keeps them, both husband and wife, in this material world. But the queen's interactions with the Supreme Lord is different. It was not mundane. Their absorption and their interaction with the Lord actually took them to the spiritual world. So the mundane interaction keeps us here in this material world, but this interaction of the queens with the Supreme Lord, that is transcendental. That took them to the spiritual world. Actually, the Lord married 16,108 wives, and simultaneously he was present in each and every palace. That itself explains that it was not a mundane affair. It was a transcendental activity. And we will see that further in this next few verses, which is explaining the transcendental character of the Supreme Lord. Because if anyone has doubt that, is this like what Lord was doing? Was he attached? Was he just doing sense enjoyment with his 16,108 wives? So that is explained in this last few verses of this chapter. 36. Famous verse, and it is also one of the key memory verses for those who are doing Bhakti Vaibhav. Text 36. Uddam bhav pishunamal valguhas व्रीडावलोक निहतो मदनोऽपि यासाम् सम्मुह्य चापमजहात् प्रमादोत्तमास्ता यस्येन्द्रियं विमुथितुं कुहकैर्न शेको.
Although the queen's beautiful smiles and furtive glances were all spotless and exciting, and although they could conquer Cupid himself by making him give up his bow in frustration, and although even the tolerant Shiva could fall victim to them, still, despite all their magical feats and attractions, they could not agitate the senses of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
So the Lord's senses could not be agitated by the beautiful smiles and the exciting glances which were spotless from the queens. So all these feminine attributes could not conquer the Lord or his senses. These attributes were so powerful and exciting and attractive that even the Cupid, or even Lord Shiva as well, it is explained, they can give up, like the Cupid can give up his bow in frustration and get attracted to them. But Lord is Atmaram. So he is Atmaram, he is self-sufficient. He could not be disturbed or agitated by the queens. So then why did he accept them as his wives, if he was not attracted to them and their feminine features? So the answer is given by Srila Prabhupada in the purport, in this one line in italics which is there towards the end. He said, Srila Prabhupada is saying, therefore the queens could not satisfy the Lord by their feminine attractiveness, but they satisfied him by their sincere affection and service. So the Lord is attracted by our sincere affection and service. All these other feminine attributes, attractiveness had no effect on the Supreme Lord. He is self-sufficient. His it is mentioned that they could not agitate the senses of the Lord. The Lord is transcendental, but he was still attracted by them because of their sincere affection and service. That is the key line here for us to understand. 37. So this actually also explains that whatever talent, whatever skills we may have, and we may be thinking that, oh, I will sing so beautifully, or I will speak so wonderfully, and that will attract the Supreme Lord. No, that is not going to attract the Supreme Lord. What is attractive to the Lord is our affection, our love for Him, our service for Him. If we are serving, thinking that I am glorious and I am so wonderful, and because of that the Lord will get attracted, forget about it. Even the queens, they were not able to attract Lord's senses by their feminine attributes. What can we do to attract the Lord by our just some limited senses that we have? We can still attract the Lord though. What? By what? Just by our sincere affection and service. That is what is attractive for Him. 37. Tamayam manyate loko iha sangam api sanginam atmaupamyena manujam vyaprunvanam yatho buddha.
The common materialistic conditioned souls speculate that the Lord is one of them. Out of their ignorance, they think that the Lord is affected by matter, although he is unattached.
So the Lord is completely unattached and unaffected by matter. But conditioned soul, like all of us, out of our ignorance, we think that the Lord Krishna is one of us. The reason is what? Because we are attached. We are affected by the three modes. Hence, we think that the Lord is also affected by the three modes and He is also attached just like us. So, we bring the Lord to the same level as us. And it is complete ignorance. Because Lord is transcendental. Lord is unattached and unaffected. So our challenge is that many times we use our own colored lenses. So this is transparent, but if we have, say, goggles, sunglasses, they are colored. So these same colored lenses, with that we are seeing the world. So the world is not colored because the sunglasses are like our lenses are colored. We are seeing that the world like that, and that creates misunderstandings and judgment about others as well. And the same thing happens when we are looking at the Lord. It is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita as well, how the fools and rascals, they think that the Lord is like them. And when He comes to this material world, He also is covered with the matter, just like we are covered with the matter. But that is unintelligent. That is full of ignorance, because the Lord is not like that. So Lord is, His transcendental character is mentioned. His senses are never agitated. He is unattached and unaffected by matter. He's beyond the three modes. The Lord is divine. It is explained in the next verse, 38. Etad ishanam ishasya prakrutisthopi tadgune na yujjate sadatmastair yatha buddhis tadashraya. Surananda.
This is the divinity of the personality of Godhead. He is not affected by the qualities of material nature, even though he is in contact with them. Similarly, the devotees who have taken shelter of the Lord do not become influenced by the material qualities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So the Lord is divine. He is not affected by the three modes of the material nature, even though he is in contact with them. And it is mentioned that even his devotees who have taken shelter of the Lord do not become influenced by the material qualities. The Lord is the controller of the Prakriti. He is above the Prakriti. And those who take shelter of the Supreme Lord, they are also are not affected by the Maya. Last verse. Tam me nire bala mudha strainam chanu vratam raha apramana vido bhartur ishwaram matayo yatha. Go ahead.
Yes, Purush. The simple and delicate women truly thought that Lord Sri Krishna, their beloved husband, followed them and was dominated by them. They were unaware of the extent of the glories of their husband, as the atheists are unaware of him as the supreme controller. Hare Krishna.
It's quite interesting that the queens of Lord Shri Krishna in Dwarka, they are compared with the atheists in a way, because both are unaware of the true glories of the Supreme Lord. But there is a major difference between the two, which was explained previously, that there was a sincere devotion and affection that the queens had. The atheists have envy and jealousy in their heart. So they are different altogether. But there is some commonality that both don't understand the full glory of the Supreme Lord. The simple and delicate queens of the Lord, even though they had affection, that they did not understand the Lord fully. They truly thought that Krishna is under their control, just like an henpecked husband. They were, so it is mentioned, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in this purport, towards the end of the purport. The wives of the Lord Krishna were made to forget the immeasurable glories of the Lord by the internal potency, so that there might not be any flaw of exchange. And they took it for granted that the Lord was a henpecked husband, always following them in lonely places. In other words, even the personal associates of the Lord do not know him perfectly well. So what to do? So what do the thesis writer and mental speculators know about the transcendental glories of the Lord? So what to speak of others when the Lord's close personal associates also do not know the full glories of the Supreme Lord? There is a difference that these atheists are covered by Maya, Mahamaya, and the personal associates are covered by Yoga Maya. And the Yoga Maya is covering them so that they forget the full glories of the Lord and they can exchange the rasa properly. They can love the Lord like their wives, his wives, or his lovers, or his friend, or his parents. That is only possible when the Yoga Maya covers some of these things, the Aishwarya of the Lord, and that is how then they can reciprocate with him properly. The Lord can be known, Srila Prabhupada mentions in the end of the purport, the Lord can be known by the mercy of the Lord only and by no other means. So, how to attract the Lord? The key message from here was he can only be attracted by our sincere affection and service. That is where we will pause today. Let us see some questions, comments, summary points, or any reflections that you may have on this chapter today. Hare Krishna. Okay, quite a few hands. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna,
First
Prabhuji,
one, yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Can you hear me?
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Go ahead, please.
Hare Krishna, sir. It's how amazing where our education system teaches that we are coming from the monkeys and the evolution theory, and to understand that Krishna activities as human is not human, so is divine, and its activities are divine. To come to that platform, from that platform, we are coming from evolutionary theory. So it's amazing, Prabhuji. Means how much we have to hear Bhagavatam, how much we have to hear this Shuddha Shravan, so then only our mind starts thinking like this.
Yeah, definitely, Prabhu. That is why the scriptures are given so that we can elevate our understanding. We can go from ignorance, the darkness of ignorance, to the light of knowledge.
There's no other way, no, Prabhuji.
No. There's nothing else possible.
Thank you.
Thank you for the very good point, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Aparna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, a very wonderful session. We got to know so much about how Dwarka, how Krishna's entrance to Dwarka made such a difference. But I've got 3 questions. So how many
Oh,
can you
as
take
usual,
right now?
how come you always find 3 questions, Mataji? What is that special 3 things?
I don't know. I have more, Prabhuji, but I tried to narrow it down to 3 to make it a bit reasonable for you.
Okay, let's go for first one.
First question? Okay, the first question is from the first verse. It is more like I need some information rather than question what has been discussed, Prabhuji. So when Krishna descends to the to the earth, his eternal associates also come with him. So my question was more from the curiosity side that does his abode becomes vacant of him? Because Krishna is omnipresent, right? So when he descends, he's still there, right? Isn't he?
Yeah. He expands and he comes at the same time here. But whenever he comes, his associates also want to come and be part of the pastimes that he's doing. So they also come.
Right. But Krishna is still there in his abode, even
Yeah.
though he's yeah. Okay.
Krishna
Thank
is
you. That's the
present
thing.
everywhere, so he's also present in Golok
His
Vrindavan.
abode is it doesn't
He's
become vacant of him. Okay, that I
no.
knew, but I wanted to have some clarification. Second question was, Prabhuji, you mentioned in verse number 3. Sorry, let me bring that up. Right. So you very beautifully mentioned that we can stay connected to Krishna by chanting, right? But if you want to stay in connection with Krishna all the time, we can't do chanting all the time, can we? So what are the other ways? Okay, precisely the question was, what type of thoughts would keep us connected to Krishna?
Krishna conscious thoughts.
Yeah, but exactly what?
What kind of Krishna conscious thoughts we can have?
I
See,
don't know, Prabhuji, it
one
could be
thing we can
anything.
do, see, one thing that we can do is
Yeah.
Satatam Kirtayanto Ma. So Krishna
Hmm.
never said that you chant only 16 rounds of my holy name. Krishna always asked us to do Satatam Kirtayanto Mam so that we can always remember Krishna 24/7. But because we are so conditioned that it is not possible for us to chant 24/7, so Srila Prabhupada mercifully said that, okay, fine, at least chant 16 rounds every day. And that way we will get this practice of remembering Krishna at least some part of our day. But it should not be happening that till the end of our life, we are just chanting 16 rounds and we are just remembering him only for that time. That is a practice by which we are trying to meditate on Krishna, pray to Krishna, and create some absorption in our life through that chanting. But that absorption has to expand to the other part of our life as well over a period of time. And that will happen. It is not that it will not happen. It will take some time. So by chanting, we will purify our mode of passion and ignorance that will slowly go away. And mode of goodness will also get purified and we will go to Shuddha Sattva. And then we will be completely absorbed, just like Dwarkavasis. They are always thinking, they are always absorbed in Krishna's thoughts. That Krishna is doing like this, Krishna is doing like that, or whatever, like in the past times, whatever they have gone through. So those thoughts are coming into their mind. And we can also actually think about Krishna based on our interaction with Krishna. And our interaction with Krishna could be through the devotees, or through the deities, through his instructions, or through the pastimes that we have read about him. So those kind of thoughts can also dwell, like we can dwell on those thoughts. And that is how we can make our life Krishna conscious more and more, even when we are not chanting. We can also engage in various services, and that way we can remain connected to him.
Sure. Thank you, Prabhuji. But the follow-on question was, if you think that, oh, eventually it will happen, let me now just focus on chanting. Is this a good attitude, or should we try something more? Like if I say, okay, maybe eventually there'll be a time in my life and I can remember Krishna all the time. Let it be. Let me focus on the chanting. Is it a good approach or not?
See, Srila Prabhupada never said chant only 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He said minimum 16 rounds of
Minimum.
Hare
Yeah,
Krishna
yeah.
Mahamantra, right? So
Exactly.
even if you want to just follow this and you are thinking that, oh, I want to do more, no one has stopped us. Like, who has said that, okay, 16 only, no more, not a single name more than that?
No,
No, right? So
no,
these are 16 minimum rounds that we have to do. If
right,
anyone is willing, if anyone has a desire, anyone have developed the taste for chanting more, they should chant more. We can read scriptures. The minimum at least 15 minutes, 1 hour should be read. Srila Prabhupada said that 1 hour every day we should be reading the scriptures. We can, if we have more time, we can do some kirtan. If we have more time, we can actually explain this knowledge to others. So many things that we can do. So that is how we can remain connected and not limit ourselves. Like these numbers are not for limiting ourselves. It is for creating some discipline that at least this much we should
right. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. And I will hold off for the third question when everyone has got their
do.
turn
Okay.
for the first question.
Bharadwaj
Thank you,
Rishi
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
You never know, Bharadwaj Rishi Prabhu may also have 3 questions. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. No, Prabhuji, I only have one question, one sharing as well. So
Yes, Prabhu.
this chapter is amazing, Prabhuji. Like if ever we get a chance to offer our prayers to Supreme Lord, this gives so many qualities of the Lord that we can very easily compose a prayer. So thank you, Prabhuji. And my question, Prabhuji, is like so just an extension to what Aparna Mataji also like. See, all these Dvāraka Vasis are actually eternal associates of the Lord. So they're already like achieved state, like they're already in a Nitya Siddha stage. So when they are at that stage, like how come or how should we understand that they had material desires towards the Lord, and then Lord is not disturbed by the Lord is not disturbed. So how should we understand that, Prabhuji?
So it never said that they had material desires for the Lord.
But
So
Lord
what
not
is
being,
mentioned? Okay,
yeah.
actually, it is explained that from the external perspective, other people may think
Right,
that this is like a mundane affair which is going on. That
right,
some people think that Krishna was very lusty, and that is why he actually married 16,108 times. So they may think that, oh, he was dancing with others' wives in Vrindavan, and all of that. They are actually, because their mind is full of lust, that is why they are actually projecting that lust on Krishna. They are forgetting that Krishna is transcendental and he reciprocates according to the devotee's devotion towards him. So if someone wants to actually have this conjugal ras with Krishna, so Krishna will reciprocate in that. And it is same as if he is reciprocating with his Gopa friends. So, and he is reciprocating with his parents or the elderly gopis or elderly gopas. So the same rasa or the same kind of reciprocation he's doing with his lovers and with his wives as well. But not everyone is at the level of understanding this. And that is why they may think that Krishna is attached. They may think Krishna is affected. They may think that his senses are getting agitated. So to clarify that Krishna's character is pure, for that it is explained that Krishna was not affected or he was unattached. He was unaffected by all of this and his senses were not agitated. That is why these last few verses are coming to explain this transcendental character.
okay,
It is not that the queens had the material desires towards him. Their desires are transcendental only
okay,
towards the Supreme Lord, and they want to actually enjoy with him in the conjugal rasa. That
right,
is their bhava.
right. Because as soon as we heard that verse where the queens are actually in their heart, they actually embrace the Lord, and then visually they did, and then they sent their sons, and then they had tears. So I thought like, see, Lord Krishna as small boy, he went and stole butter to fulfill those desires, and knowingly the queens are in front of them, they're crying in their heart, like they want to embrace him, not like in a physical lusty way, material way, but like so I was thinking, why is Lord not reciprocating? And then in the later verse it came that he's not attracted to the sense gratification. So I was like, Oh, so what is the so like
Yeah.
we made it diverted.
And Prabhuji, it doesn't mean that they did not get to embrace the Supreme Lord. In private, afterwards, they still got the chance.
Okay,
But
got it.
when first time they saw it, because
Right,
their sons were around them and other people were also there, so that is where they were not able to embrace him directly, and they
right,
had to do that indirectly.
right,
Of course, that conjugal rasa is there, so definitely they are going to get that chance, but in private afterwards.
right. Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Okay? Hare Krishna. Bhageshwari Mataji.
First, with the reflection, Prabhuji,
Yes, ma'am.
I like the way how you explained how to welcome Lord into our hearts and into our houses, lives, etc. So that was beautifully explained, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. And I have a question, Prabhuji. In the text 25, at the end of the purport, there it was mentioned the ladies have got up to the roof and then they did not mix with the crowd on the street. So, in practicality, we do come up for the Radhayatra festivals and outside on the street, kirtans and all. So, how should we relate this, Prabhuji, when it was when the other Dwarka verses did not follow that?
Yeah,
How to
so
relate that?
Mataji, the different, like the times are different. At different times, there are social customs which everyone has to actually follow. So at that time, the Vedic times, and especially this is the previous yuga we are talking about. This is not Kali Yuga. In the previous yuga, the respectable ladies, they will not freely mix with everyone. So they would keep the distance. But in nowadays, it is not possible. Like everyone is mixing with each other, but at least there should be a respectable distance that needs to be kept between the two sexes. And that is what is followed in this particular way in the previous yuga. In this yuga as well, we can actually follow that by treating everyone else, like the Prabhujis, the people can actually then treat the ladies as Matajis, except for their wife. And that is how this respectable distance will get created between the men and women. And that will achieve the same purpose in Krishna consciousness, even if they are actually doing services together or whatever like that. Individually, they should not be alone together in groups. If they are like there, then that can still be achieved by having this mental respect for each other as masters, as and the mothers can actually think the prabhus as their children, and that is how they can have loving relationship, but at the same, it is a respectable distance as well between them. That is how we can do it, Mataji. Is that
Hurt
okay?
you, Nana. Stop doing all these foolish things, Nana.
We can hear that, Sanatan Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Your microphone is catching up. Okay. Vishakha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much. Very nice session today. I have a question. When we talked in 37th verse that we see Lord with our limited understanding. So when we try to understand spiritual subject matters, we still come across our own materialistic way of thinking, and we do not have at this moment that spiritual maturity to understand things as they are. So how do we develop that maturity, Prabhuji?
Yeah, this is a real challenge that everyone has to actually go through. Especially the conditioned souls have to go through. Only the Nitya Siddhas are free from this problem, but they are very few. All the Nitya Baddhas will have to actually go through this challenge. That they are like we are all conditioned, and then we come into this Krishna consciousness, and then we are going through it. And while we are going through it, we are having this own ideas which we are projecting on whatever we read. And then we are thinking, Are, aisa kyun hai? What, why it is like this? Why it is like that? And then we get confused. We get sometimes agitated. Why Prabhupada is saying like this? Why Krishna is saying like this? Why this particular personality, they're supposed to be pure devotees, they are saying like this or doing like this? And that creates some challenges in our spiritual life. That creates sometimes doubts, some misunderstandings. And doubts and misunderstandings slows us down on any path that we are going through. And that is why it is recommended that we have to actually understand the scriptures from a devotee. Because if you are reading it on our own, something actually we don't like or doesn't understand, and then that remains like one doubt. Then we go to the next verse, again another doubt. And that 1 plus 1 doubt becomes not 2, but 11. And then the third doubt comes, that becomes 111. Then fourth doubt comes, it becomes 1111. And that actually becomes bigger and bigger. So sooner we can actually clarify those doubts from someone else who has understood it better than us, then our doubts will clarify. And those doubts are like obstacles on our path which are slowing us down and they are pulling us behind. Maya is trying to pull us behind. And that is what we have to actually cut down those ropes by which we are getting pulled. And that can only happen when we clarify those doubts as soon as possible. So if we read the scriptures along with some devotees, study the scriptures with someone who has already studied and understood, that is the best way. So we can develop that maturity in Krishna consciousness by taking shelter of somebody else's maturity. Like learn the scriptures under the guidance of some other mature devotees, and that way we can also develop mature understanding. And that is how we will shade our baggages by which we are trying to be judgmental or thinking like this or thinking like that based on our own understanding. And that is why Srila Prabhupada books are so wonderful. Because not only he is giving translation, but he is also explaining the translation with purports. So most of our doubts gets clarified just by reading his purports. But even if further some doubts remain, then we can actually talk to someone else. And that way we can clarify those doubts as well and go further. So that is very important. Very good question. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Aparna Mataji, I think your last question was still remaining, right? Go ahead.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. My last question was, Prabhuji, pertaining to text number 11. So in the translation, it says that Bhoja, Madhu, Dashara, Ara, Kukura, they were as strong as Lord Krishna. I know you have touched that briefly, but I want to understand more as to why this statement has been made. Prabhuji, it's not very clear in my head. So no one can be as strong as the Lord. So if you can please throw some light.
Because the Lord is the most powerful, right? There is he is asama urdhva. So no one is equal or better than him. But he is away from Dwarka for a long time, for many months. So who's protecting Dwarka at that time? So to explain that, it is said that even though Lord was away from Dwarka, there were many other powerful warriors in Vrishnis, the descendants of Vrishni, like these names which are mentioned, who were very, very powerful. And that is how they were protecting Dwarka even when the Lord was away. And Srila Prabhupada mentions in the last line of that purport, so who were as powerful as the Lord insofar as he manifested his strength upon this earth. So it is not that they also had unlimited strength as Krishna, but whatever strength he displayed on earth, that kind of strength these warriors also had. By Krishna's mercy only. In Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned he is the strength of the strong. He is the intelligence of the intelligent. So all of this strength as well that all these warriors had is coming from Krishna, and that strength, they were so powerful. They are also Maharathis in a way. Atirathis, Maharathis, that they were very, very strong. That is what it is mentioned. And Dwarka city was still protected when the Lord was away.
Oh, it explains it. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll take this last two comments or questions and then we'll finish. Surananda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah, Prabhuji, I read few times this chapter, but there are so many points I couldn't get that time. Thanks for nice class, Prabhuji. So my takeaway points here today is we should always be connected with the Supreme Lord by reading scriptures in association of devotees. And a very important point, Lord attracted by our sincere affection and service.
Yeah, not by our special skills
Yes.
or whatever. We still have to actually use our skills in Krishna's service, but he doesn't get attracted by the skills themselves, but he gets attracted by our sincerity and our love and affection that we use those skills with. Thank you. Very good points. Thank you, Prabhuji. Mukesh Prabhu.
Done, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, first one reflection is the mention of prostitutes going to see Krishna and Krishna, of course, welcoming them, made me reflect that anybody who is somehow attracted to Krishna, whether he's following the regulated principles or not, whining, dining, if he's attracted, it's not a place to be judging them. If Krishna welcomes them with open heart, we should facilitate and give them every opportunity to get closer to Krishna. That was one thing, Prabhuji. And a second question, like a question after that I had was, is prostitution, is that an acceptable part or profession, and it's prevalent in all Vedic in society and as a Vedic Samaj? Because we also see, like even in heaven, and that's got these apsaras he keeps sending to misguide tapasvis. We see Raja Maharajas having progeny outside wedlock with dasis. So has there been an accepted place in the Vedic Samaj for that profession? That was a general question. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So first of all, yes, every devotee who is having some love and sincere affection for the Supreme Lord, we have to respect them. But some of them, we have to respect them from distance. So in this situation, even if these prostitutes, they are devotees of the Lord, we can respect them. But we respect them from a distance. That is first thing that we should understand. The second one, your question about, oh yeah, and actually more on that first point, because the distance is required. They are devotees, we are devotees, or we are trying to like sadhaka devotees, but at the same time, some association may mislead us, may take us away from Krishna. There are examples in the purports. Bilva Mangal Thakur's example, which is given, the prostitute Chintamani, he was very attached to, and she guided Bilva Mangal Thakur towards Krishna. But not all association will guide us towards Krishna like that. And most of the time, such association may pull us down from that Krishna conscious path. And that is why, even though we respect them, and we respect them from a distance, so that our Krishna consciousness is not affected.
Thank you.
The second part is about the Vedic times, whether it was part of the acceptable profession. So professions in Vedic times are very clear. There are those 4 varnas which are there. And anyone outside of the varnas, they are also there in the society. But that doesn't mean that they will not be provided for. For example, there is a description of chandalas which is mentioned. Well, most of the times, the scriptures talk about chandalas. Chandalas are the people who are dog eaters. They are not following any regulative principles. They are outside. They're considered outside of the varna and ashrama. But still, they are respected. They are provided for, and everything is given. But that doesn't mean that the chandala's profession is recommended in the Vedas. Vedas are recommending 4 varnas and 4 ashramas. The recommendation is that. Just like when we were talking about that particular verse, we mentioned about even when opening a wine shop doesn't mean that the government is encouraging people to drink wine. And even if there are prostitutes which are protected, that doesn't mean that the government or the Vedic scriptures are propagating that this should be done. It is just like sometimes in the Vedic scriptures, it is mentioned that people can eat meat, but eat it in this particular way with the idea that if they follow that path, then they will get purified and they will stop eating meat, reduce, and then over a period of time stop eating meat. So Vedic scriptures, even though there are some mentions like this here and there, the idea is the purification of the scripture, of the individuals who are reading it, so that even if they have some bad habits like this, they can get purified and they can come out of it, and come into this proper fold of four varnas and start following the regulative principles. So that is the idea, and it is that facility sometimes is there, unfortunately, because of for those. If they are not given that facility, then they will even contaminate other good women. And to avoid that, then that is there, but it is not a recommendation. The recommendation of the scriptures is the purification and coming out of that. Is that making sense, Prabhu?
Yes, definitely, Boji. Thank you so much for nicely putting it. My last bit was that has that profession being part of all society, like in Ram Raj, every society, we had those outcast classes prevalent in the society and were looked after from what you have learned and studied so far. Because even in Bhagavad Gita Mahatmya, they have talked about prostitutes listening from a parrot and the punya they are giving. So, and Ved Vyasji has not shied away from mentioning their names. Therefore, I'm just curious to know if they've always been part of all Samaj in all times, if you know of that. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I'm not aware of all times, Prabhuji, but definitely, as you're saying, they are mentioned multiple times in various different times. Even in now Srimad Bhagavatam as well, towards the end, we will see the prostitute who became Pingala. Her story is mentioned, her prayers are mentioned. So it is like the Ved Vyas, as well as Vyasadev, as well as any other devotees who are writing or reading the scriptures, they don't shy away from mentioning the prostitutes. So because they are unattached from that. It doesn't bring any lust or anything in their minds when they are writing it, because they are completely purified, and they are trying to tell us that what can we learn even from. So in that context, they are mentioned. So yeah, anything that can be learned, that can always, like in connection with Krishna, that will find place in the scriptures. But whether they were there in Satyuga as well or not, we will have to. I did not think about that so much. But if there are some references that we find while we read, and if they are from Satyuga, then we'll come to know.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, if there are no further questions, comments, or reflections, then we'll pause here today. And just a quick announcement: we do not have this class next week. So next Sunday, Bhakti Vaibhav students are giving their first exam at the same time, 9 to 11. So there is no class next Sunday. So we'll meet the Sunday after, and that class is being taken by His Holiness Ramai Swami Maharaj. We will request him to speak on the next chapter, whatever he likes, and then we will cover the remaining chapter after in the next sessions. So thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Ambarish Maharaj Prabhu ki
Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.